What's going on, everybody? If you are a lover of R&B, and I'm talking about real R&B, I'm talking about the bedroom baby-making music, then you're going to love our guest today. Singer Tony Terry has one of the most melodic and acrobatic male voices in music today. And of course, that talent allowed him to spend a lot of time at the top of the music charts. Well, today he's spending a little time with us on JDTV. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Tony Terry. What's going on, sir?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I first have to ask you, how are you dealing with this pandemic situation? Are you ready to break free, or are you kind of enjoying the slower pace that it's forced everybody to kind of adapt to?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, it's been a lot going on, man. I mean, it went from, and honestly, okay, to me, transparency is key. So, I started out okay, but then it started getting to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I actually started having a little anxiety because, the uncertainty of, what's going on. I mean, I went from being booked all year to having nothing the rest of the year until next year. And which means, we gotta live. I have family, got a house.
Right.
But I'm blessed, and my gift has always made a way for me. So I'm confident and I'm secure, and I trust God.
I have to tell you that we have a couple of things in common, you and I.
What's that?
I had no idea that you were born in North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
And that is where we are.
Okay.
We're in North Carolina. And I was also born in Pinehurst.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. A few years after you, but not too long.
At the same hospital, I'm assuming.
Probably more.
Absolutely.
more hospital produces great babies. Great babies.
Hey, what can you say?
Anyone who hears your gift can absolutely tell that there is a church gospel thing going on inside of that voice. Were you the one in the choir they were always passing the mic to? And what kind of training ground did singing in church provide for you?
Ultimately, I was that guy.
Yeah.
But at first, I wasn't and didn't want to be. I would be so scared to sing at church. I'd be staring at the clock on the back of the wall because I didn't want to look at nobody.
Yes.
I was just, I had to learn, but all that happened for me at a very, very early age. And, I just have always had a passion for it. I had a family group. My family, my mom and, aunts and uncles were all they were all in gospel groups. And then we had, the kids' versions of those groups. So I was always singing and just kind of doing things musically, but ultimately, in my family, I'm the only one that I'm aware of, in my immediate family that I'm aware of, that chose to pursue music as a career, but I never envisioned myself doing anything else. I just never even thought about it.
Before we first heard you on a record, you were on the acting track.
Yes, sir, I was. Yeah,
a real thespian.
I got the acting bug from watching Fame.
Great show. I grew up. I wanted to go to the School of the Arts because of Fame. Yes.
Well. Okay. So that School of the Arts that they showed on Fame was based on the actual school that I went to, which was Duke Ellington. They didn't base that on the actual New York School of Performing Arts. They based that on what was happening in D.C.
Wow.
But put it in the setting of New York.
Wow.
And it was very much a setting like that, where artists were, able to be artists.
Free to create.
I hadn't seen before, and I immediately thought that's where I'm going to fit in, because I was at a regular high school, doing well. But I saw this thing on TV, and then I found out that it was, there was a school in Washington, and I wanted to go. My mom said, no.
How did you convince her to let you spread your wings?
Well, that was my sophomore year in high school. She said, no, absolutely not. So my junior year in high school, I didn't really give her an opportunity. I just was like, look, I'm going to Duke Ellington. That's final. You're like, okay. And, you know, my mom knew what my passion was, and of course, I wasn't running the house like that. She just knew that, you know, it was something that I really wanted, and she let me go. My parents have really always supported my family at large. Has always supported, you know, my craft, and has always made provisions for me to do what I love to do. You know, as far as I can remember, I remember my parents taking a second mortgage out on their house so that I could go to the studio and record when I was like 13.
The first record contract you were offered, Capitol Records, big deal, the house that Nat built, right? But when you get there, you really don't get the opportunity to record because there's some kind of kerfuffle with the A&R guy who brought you into the fold. Explain how that deal didn't pan out.
I was in the studio working on a project for Capitol Records on a group called Boogie Boys. All right, and they had a big hit record called "A Fly Girl, Boom, Fly Girl."
Yes.
And so I was working on their record, and while I was in there, the producer's wife asked me to come into this room where there was a group of people and asked me to sing for them. So I did. I didn't know who they were. And that situation, that moment, I left that room with the 7-hour deal, just like that.
Wow,
like,
that's incredible.
I didn't know that I was auditioning.
What was the song you sang that blew them away?
I sang "Oh So Long for This Night."
Yeah, that gets them every time.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you for that one.
But this is the thing. They wanted me. Their plan was for me to record Nat King Cole's catalog.
Oh.
But I was 19.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. So the gentleman that actually got me signed me to Capitol Records, that was responsible for being at Capitol Records on the A&R side, got fired. And so because of that, the guy that replaced him was not involved in my being signed to the label. So I was not his project.
Yes.
You know, so his focus was bringing acts, discovering his own acts.
Yes.
Not taking an act that someone else discovered. And then okay. So I didn't belong to anybody, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
At the label, I didn't belong.
Right.
So that gentleman talked Epic into buying my contract from Capitol before anything else. So before I ever sang a note, millions of dollars transferred. I was signed to Epic Records with Michael Jackson and Luther Vandross and Keela Marie and this kid that they spent all this money on. They didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know what to do with me. It was like, okay, now what? We got him. Now what? and you know, She's Fly came out and was a hit record, and then the next one was a hit record, and then they were like, okay, we think we might have something with this kid.
Absolutely.
And then when it was time to choose the next single that would be with you, that I had chosen to be with you, they didn't want to do that.
How happy were you to have a song like that fall into your lap, first of all? Well,
I knew that With You was a special song. I mean, so much so that when it was time, when I felt it was time for the world to hear it, I was hard pressed not to let them convince me otherwise. So, like, they called me into the label to tell me only Stevie Wonder could get away with a song like this. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. And you know, I guess I don't know all the politics behind it, but I know that there were, you know, some, you know, okay, we're gonna set it up like this. So at the time, radio was serviced with vinyl. every week. You know, your record company would take vinyl records to the radio station and try to convince them to play your record. Well, there's just 12 of y'all going to the radio station every week with 6 or 7 records, and there's only a slot for one new record every week. So all of y'all trying to convince the radio station in various markets to play your record. So my record was serviced to radio with no label, with a blank label. White.
Oh, that's dirty. It
was dirty, but it backfired because it stood out.
Yeah.
What's this? You know?
Yeah.
This don't have nothing on it.
Yeah.
This. And it was from the Epic, you know, it's from the Epic guy, and it's my song. And so With You started to happen like that. It started happening because people listened to it and started adding it.
Yes.
In spite of the record company, you know, their failure to promote it, but the real clincher was Anita Baker's involvement. She called me. She found me, and
I don't want you to skip over this part of the story, which I think is so funny and interesting, is that you were walking into your manager's office, correct? And the phone rings. There's nobody there to answer the phone. You answer the phone, and then go ahead.
Yeah. So you heard the story.
Yes. I want to make sure everybody else hears it.
Yeah. So you know, I walked into the office, and the receptionist, maybe she was in the bathroom, I don't know, but wasn't at her desk. And I answered the phone, and it was Anita Baker, and she was looking for me, which I thought was weird because I didn't know Anita Baker, and I didn't even believe that it was happening. And you know, why would she be calling me? Why? So, but it was her, and you know, she was in love with the song. She told me how much she loved it. She thought it was a great song, and her question was why isn't there a video? And of course, she told me the story.
Yeah.
She was like, those people are so crazy. They wouldn't, you know, they just don't get it. Yada yada yada. She said, I'm going to send you this money, and you know, I'm going to send you $50,000. Very straightforward. I'm going to send you this money, and I need you to shoot a video or call my friend Blair Underwood. I want him to direct. And, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. This and do that. And I'm thinking, well, why? I don't know you. Like, really, honestly, I appreciate it, but I need to know why. And then what do you want from me?
Yeah, what do you expect?
Well, she was like, just blow up. I just want you to blow up.
That's you certainly did that. You certainly did that.
And so all those things came together. And so, you know, if you saw the video, if you've ever seen the video for With You, it's what, you know, I call her my guardian angel. 25 years or so later, you know, we're on the Monique show, and she's there performing, and I go see her because my mother-in-law wants to go, and then she sees me. Of course, she would see me, and she recognizes me, and we make eye contact, and I can see. I don't know if you heard this part of the story.
I have, but I want you to go ahead. I love it. I love it.
And, you know, so you know, I can see that her and Monique are talking about me, and you know, when they come back from commercial break, and Monique explains to the audience that Ms. Baker shared with her the whole story during the commercial break. You know, this man this money, you know, to do this, and she asked her why did she do it, and she said that she said, quote, I was being obedient to the spirit.
Wow.
I was being obedient to the spirit. I had to do it. That was her answer.
I've always thought that for a singer, when you can get your hands on the type of song that people fall in love to, get married to. I mean, brides are still walking down the aisle to With You today. It helps the song stand the test of time, right? So what kind of boost does having a signature song like that in your repertoire give you?
Well, it's the button. It's the button on the end of the show. It's the song everybody's waiting for. So, you know, you have a house full and ain't nobody going nowhere until they get this song. So you make them wait all night.
Right. Would you be afraid not to include that in a show?
Oh, I tried one time.
And what happened?
It didn't work well. It was like, oh no, the hell you not. Well, this is just like the building.
Because recently, there was a video of you singing it for a couple in the park that just blew up and went viral and just went everywhere. What made you go and, you know, kind of bless them with a free performance like that?
I was minding my business. Wasn't bothering nobody.
Right.
Because I'm a giver.
Okay.
I always have been, sometimes to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so I was having a conversation with my son about, you know, people who are willing to serve other people versus people who want to take and not be of service.
Okay.
How much I thought, you know, his life would be blessed if he were on the side of being willing, at least willing to give, willing to serve.
Mm.
And so, you know, while we was having that conversation, we was just walking and talking, and then there was a couple getting married by themselves, and so I kind of jogged ahead of my son and my wife. Not to go see them, but that's when I noticed them. So I jogged ahead and I stopped and watched them get married, and I applauded, and I told them, I introduced myself. I was a little hesitant,
yes.
You know, because I didn't want them to reject me. You know what I'm talking about?
Right,
so,
right.
I wanted to ask him, you know, okay, put me in. Okay, so I was like, I thought it was beautiful. Congratulations. You know, I'm a professional singer, and
did they know who you were?
No.
Okay.
So you guys need a first dance. I'd love to sing for you. And she was like, yeah, okay, yeah. And so I had my music. I always had my music on my phone. So
yes.
I pressed my phone, started playing the music, and I could see that she just went into this blissful place. And just at that moment, my wife walked up with her camera and started filming it. And the point was to just give it to them, just to give it to the couple.
Yes.
And let them have it, you know, as their moment. And then that was going to be that. But then I put it on my Facebook page.
Uh-huh.
And in minutes, it's just
it was everywhere.
It was everywhere, and the news started calling, and it was just went bananas.
In that moment, you just taught all of us a lesson about how important and how good it feels to give of yourself. And so we see that you're not only can you sing your ass off, but you're a good daddy too.
Well, I ain't perfect, but you know.
Well, listen, speaking of not being perfect, you know, the music business is low down, is tough and rugged. It's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. There's so many pitfalls that seem to lay in wait for people, especially when they start getting reaching that pinnacle. Did you ever fall victim to any of the demons of the business, or how were you able to avoid it?
The sex, the drugs, and the rock and roll. I did. It's true. But, you know, I came from a long lineage of God-fearing, praying women who gave their whole life to Christ.
Yes.
They weren't perfect.
Yeah.
But they ultimately gave their lives to Christ, and they were very strong. You know, I came from the South. Yeah, I used drugs. Yeah, I was wilding out. Yeah, I did all that. Yes. I was, come on, man. You know.
Yes, yes.
It happened.
Yes.
But I was faced with some of that darkness in Hollywood. And because I believe that I am who I am, and I am whose I am, that I was shielded from the darkness, even in my own ignorance.
Yes.
I was protected. I was covered. And so even though I went through things that some people might not, it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, things that I swore, you know, like I was not or could easily not have come out. But God.
Yeah.
So which made me realize that I'm covered. Like, I know that there's something, people have counted me out.
Mm-hmm.
Said my career was over. You had
Mm-hmm.
your chance. You know,
Yeah.
go do something else. But I know that people didn't give me this.
You're right.
So people can't take it away.
Take it away. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've always just trusted, you know, I believe, and you know, even in my wild times, you know, God saw fit to cover me when I didn't see fit or was too stupid or too high or too drunk.
Well, I mean, look, you've been all over the world, singing to screaming fans, most of them ladies. Everywhere you go, at the height of your career, you were getting clothes ripped off of your body. I'm sure. I've spoken to your wife a couple of times in trying to schedule this for you. She seems like she is as sweet as pie. Do you think you could
Sweetheart.
I might have to tell her you said that. I might have to tell it on you. But do you think that you could have maintained a relationship like the one you share with her back in the height of your career?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Really?
No.
We get it. Well, we thank God for the deliverance, my brother. What we like to do here on JDTV is we do this little segment called Fan Out, where I bring in a fan of Tony Terry. And we have one, she's been waiting.
All right.
And let's see if we can bring her in. And I'm gonna give her the opportunity to ask you a question she's wanting to ask. Get her in. Hello, Dina Brim. Dina. Can't hear you. Turn your audio. There you go. Dina Brim, say hello to Tony Terry.
Hello, Mr. Terry. How you doing?
I'm great. What's going on, Dina? How are you?
First of all, is everything okay? We saw you. You digging in your ear. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
We saw it all.
Yeah. In fact, I think I got something in my It's in there.
Are you okay? I told you, be ready. That's even in the book. Be ye also ready.
My nerves. I was so excited to meet you. I didn't know what to do with myself. So I'm just picking stuff.
Well, listen, we've been having a conversation with Mr. Terry. He's a load of fun. Why do you love him so much, Dina?
The gift. He has an amazing voice, and it's
man, thank you.
Beautiful voice. So
is it Deanna or Dina?
Dina.
Dina. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just amazing.
Thank you very much.
That you had. Time.
I love it.
Letting my daughter hear some songs yesterday.
Did you? What did she think?
Have you gotten a chance to come on to Tony Terry Tuesday?
No, I hadn't even heard of Tony Terry Tuesday.
Okay, every Tuesday, 9 o'clock, I do live for 1 hour on my fan page. We do Instagram. We went on. The thing with Instagram is that it really literally only gives you an hour and it shuts off. So I do, because sometimes I may go a little longer. On my Facebook fan page is probably the better place to check it out.
Oh, awesome! I will.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Dana, what would you like to? You've got this perfect opportunity. What would you like to ask Tony?
Oh, I have so many questions. And
well,
I know that. No, Mr. Duncan, let me have some time, please.
Don't get carried away.
No, but you're from North Carolina.
I am, yes.
Do you ever get to come back? Do you visit much?
All the time. I mean, I want to go home now, but my mom is there, but she has, a suppressed immune system, and I don't want to. I don't think that I've not been sick. And you know, I just don't want to take any chances.
Right.
You know, I don't know if I'm asymptomatic. I've not been tested, but I certainly have not been sick, and I don't want to take any chances. But I want so badly to go home and just hug my mama real tight.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like it. But you know, I gotta hold off for a minute. But yeah, I get home often.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And also, I was wondering, were you ever offered a song that you might have turned down that you wish you hadn't?
That is such a great question. The song "A Whole New World, New Fantastic Point of View" was sent to me first. It was sent to me first, and